All right, so I've indicated to you that you need certain tools. You have to understand the language so that you don't forfeit our history here. And our book, we hope, gives you that background and lays out a lot of this information, a lot of things the media is not telling you, a lot of things that are so important. So we end with a question. The media war, can Israel get fair coverage? Well, this is an example of how you have to be critical first of looking at articles which seem on their face to be, written well. This is an example of a New York Times article that Steve Feldman, who's the executive director of ZOA here in Philadelphia, who's former reporter for the Exponent for 20 years, an excellent writer, he went through this article here in the New York Times, and he calls it the media jumble. And I'm not going to go through this whole article, but it's 4 pages worth, but he points out how things are not what they seem. There are omissions, there are commissions, there are factual inaccuracies, and this is what's going on, and it's permeating through. Now, I also mentioned there are other groups, of course, that have been out there for many years. Camera is one of them, probably the best known one. The Committee of Accurate Middle East Reporting in America. And they have their top 10 media mangles of 2012, and the Bob Simon piece in 60 Minutes was the top one. But there are so many of these. They put out a book last year about this. So anyway, what are some of the causes of anti-Israel media bias? The first one is empathy for the underdog, or we call it underdogma. Okay, this is important because it's really most people want to root for the victim. Okay, against the big bad guy. So, Israel has gone since 1948 from fending itself off in the invasion of these Arab armies to miraculously winning, to holding its own, and winning miraculously the Six-Day War, and now tripling the size of its country. And it's a high-tech Goliath looming over the slingshot shooting Palestinians. The David and Goliath has now been reversed in the minds of the media, in the minds of many, many folks. Okay, that's not accurate. We have to do what we can so that people understand that is wrong, and that is not the way that Israel is the one who's actually the underdog against the big, bad world that it lives in, its hostile, nasty neighborhood. There's also another aspect to this: Palestinian-Arab intimidation of the media. Remember, Israel's got a free, robust press, one of the most robust presses in the world. There's hyper attention placed on Israel, microscopic by the media, because Israel has an open media. That's not the same with the Palestinian Arabs or virtually any of the Arab countries. They don't have a media like this. So it's magnified, this obsessive reporting on Israel, because the Arab world has dominated closed government presses, and they physically intimidate reporters. People who want to get stories, they take them to places that they give them a biased view. And if they don't hew the line, they're not going to get access to these Arabs anymore. And they physically will have taken cameras away from people. One of the most famous ones was, I think, 2 Italian reporters, when the unfortunate IDF reserve soldiers, about 8, 9 years ago, might have been 10 years ago, made a wrong turn and were lynched. Okay, and there were pictures that were taken of the bloody bodies being taken through the streets. Reporters' cameras were confiscated, and the film and the cameras were broken. So, and we are averting our eyes from this imbalanced reporting. So these are some of the causes. What do we have to do? What's our job? We have to be an ambassador for the truth. Let my people know what we say. Help win our future by helping win back our past. I could talk all day about some of these things, but we have to show how Israel is a nation that wants peace. Peace, but security first, but peace. How a small nation makes a big difference, shares with the world. The humanitarianism is amazing. Our book points some of that out. It's a beacon of shared Judeo-Christian values. Israel's a democracy. It respects civil rights, women's rights. It's an asset and ally of the United States. Professor Alan Dershowitz has said, look, if you're a progressive, okay, if you're a liberal, if you're for feminism, if you're for women's rights, minority rights, gay rights, if you're for the rights of the free speech, for health care, as I mentioned before, there's only one place in the entire Middle East you should be championing, and that is Israel. And yet, that's not where the progressive left seems to has its focus against Israel. Israel is an oasis in a hostile, totalitarian, authoritarian Islamic desert. Okay? And these are important things we have to tell people. I can talk about tikkun olam, social justice, all day long, how that has an effect upon the media as well. But let me talk about something else. Many of the women here, I bet many of you are involved with Hadassah, or have been. I'm a proud member of Hadassah. My wife was a president of her Hadassah chapter. Hadassah is the Women's Zionist Organization of America, like ZOA. But in Hadassah Hospital, it portrays Jewish values, Jewish ethics. You know, the terrorists, the bombers, if they are found to be wounded, are taken in by these hospitals, the Jewish hospitals, and cared and treated for as if they are real people, just like the people they have terrorized. That happens nowhere else, anywhere. Certainly not in the Arab world at all. I call it biology trumps ideology. We have to understand that the safety and security of the Jewish community is bound inextricably and dependent upon a strong Israel. Don't take for granted, for 1 second, our position here in the United States as Jews. Without a strong Israel, we are all vulnerable. So, what can I say? Let me finish up with 2 other things. I can talk about this topic all day long. BDS, the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanction Movement against Israel, okay? Many of you know that the boycotts going on by academic institutions, by companies, by progressive and NGOs saying you have to put pressure on Israel, stop buying their products, especially all products that are made, quote, in the West Bank, all these kind of things. These are racist, okay? This is an example of something that if I say they're going to boycott it, then boycott right, and go all the way. You know what? If you're going to boycott Israel, then you boycott your cell phone. Don't stop using your computer. Stop using a lot of your healthcare equipment and your medications. These are many things that Israel has contributed to the world. Okay, Israel incredibly has the highest number of high-tech companies and biotech startups per capita in the world. The highest number of medical equipment patents in the world, largest number of NASDAQ companies outside the U.S. and Canada. Incredible, okay? It's an incredible story. It's a startup nation story. 10 Nobel Prize winners versus 6 in the Arab world, entire Arab world. I hate to say this, but I can't think of anything positive that the Arabs have produced except the alphabet a long time ago, which they helped develop. I mean, what are they known for? What have they contributed to the modern world today? Oil and terrorism. That's what they've contributed. I wish there was something more I could say, but I can't find anything positive. I wish there was. So, what can we do? What's the answer? As Jerry mentioned at the beginning, stop using these terms. Lean on our leaders and demand that the Western media stop using them too. Again, if you forfeit the language, you forfeited our heritage and our history. And finally, I like this little poster, t-shirt. Civilizations, nations, and empires that have tried to destroy the Jewish people. And the ancient Egyptians, Philistines, Assyrians, Greeks, Romans, Crusaders, Nazi Germany, Soviet Union, all gone. And in red here it says Hamas, in progress, okay? God bless the IDF, the Jewish people, the smallest of nations, with a friend in the highest of places. So be nice. Thank you very much.